Welcome to this edition of Hindsight is Horrifying, the show where two mostly normal and somewhat cynical adults discuss life as members of the TV generation. Now, here are your hosts, Darth Jada and Jason Mitchell.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hindsight is Horrifying. And tonight, we're actually doing something special.
Wait, really?
Seriously. We have tonight, you might have noticed that we are in costume.
Yes, we are.
Because we are going to be talking tonight about a movie that is a bit Navy-ish. It's got some Navy stuff in it.
It's got Navy
SEALs.
SEALs.
Yeah, there's Navy SEALs in it.
There's a submarine.
It is an action movie, but what is special about tonight's show?
Tell me.
Darth, that you don't know what I'm going to surprise you with.
Oh,
you might have noticed that we have another chair and we have another microphone
Should I be
because
scared?
tonight, for the first time in the history of Hindsight is Horrifying, we have in our studio one of the actors who was actually in the movie.
Are you kidding me?
I'm serious. He is waiting.
That's awesome.
The movie we're doing tonight is a movie called Strike Zone.
Here?
It's an action. He's actually waiting right outside that door. Why don't you go let him in?
How did you pull this off?
I know people.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wait, ready? 1, 2, 3, and here he is.
Don't make a fuss. Don't make a fuss.
Hey,
What
dude.
the hell? Are you getting back at me for Mean Girls? Is that what this
Yeah,
is?
sort of.
I put on my coveralls one leg at a time, just like the rest of you. Please.
for
No
the love of
fuss.
God.
I insist. Oh, by the way, Jason, I brought you your own personalized
thank you.
copy from Germany on
the
Deutschland.
German one. Yes.
Those are hard to come by these days. Strike Zone.
Strike
Gee.
Zone. Mission Mittler Osten.
Mittlerer Osten.
How special for both of you.
Oh, cool. The description's in German, too. Lieutenant Rick Burns und sein Navy SEALs Elite haben eine heikle Mission.
You don't sound feminine at all the way you read that.
Yeah. Es kommt Unbunkeln. Kommt mit ein... Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I'm
It's
over
a
it.
crappy movie. Look, okay.
Wait, do not say it's a crappy movie.
Hang on.
Some amazing.
I want to point something out. That on
Amazing
the back of the box,
Uh-huh.
there are 4 photographs on the back of the box.
Yes.
2 of them are stock footage. So
Well, that was, what, like 85% of the movie?
I was about to say, it's a 50% ratio in the back of the box. I actually think that in the actual movie, it was more like 80%. But doesn't matter. Hit the button. Let's start the movie. And you did it.
It'll take you a while to get through the stock footage here.
Here, I'll do
before
that.
you-
Emco Entertainment Group, which sounds like an insurance company.
Well, and it does
Hey,
have
can
kind
you
of...
guys scooch in just a little bit towards each other?
Of course.
You're making me sit closer to
Yeah,
this guy? What
just
the-
a bit. There you go.
I'm wearing my special cologne.
Is he going to grab my ear again? You know I can't smell it, so it doesn't matter.
I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
but your eyes
Yes.
water up though.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I can sort of... The stinging has already started. God.
Yes. Actually, she's crying because she has to sit close to me.
Oh, goodness.
So we are, of course, talking about a motion picture.
Yeah, have we even said the title of the movie? I think you
No, we
showed,
have,
you
yeah,
showed the
no,
cover.
it's Strike Zone.
Yes, we're doing Strike Zone.
Strike Zone is an action
Cinematic masterpiece.
romance.
It checks more boxes than The Princess Bride. It's so many stories.
It's got an old city, like an Indiana Jones.
Yes, the
sort of
Lost
thing.
City.
The Lost City of...
Do you not know the name?
The Lost City of Plot Point.
Let's look at Darth's notes.
The Lost City of Rakjumar.
Rock Jumar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Hang on. You know.
Now,
It's going to get so much worse before it
will
gets
be,
better,
it will.
Jason. Come on.
Now, we should say that this movie, if you want to watch this movie, good luck, because it is not an easy movie to find. Our copy came from Germany.
This is true.
What year was this movie shot?
It was shot in 1999 and produced in 2000. So that makes it 20 years old.
Yes,
God.
it does.
Wow, 2000 was 20 years ago.
I think I was 16.
I
when it was
don't want to.
I don't confirm or deny integers when it comes to you, Mr. Brown. I never have. So
I appreciate that.
Were you
Absolutely.
alive?
In 2000.
In 2000?
Why, yes,
Yes.
I was.
Okay.
As flattering
Yes.
of a question as that is, yes.
I
would-
had just started collecting Social Security.
in 2000, I would have been in middle school.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
There was something about the computers not turning over their calendars. There was there was a big fuss about it, from what I recall.
Oh, that's right. Y2K.
Yeah,
I
Y2K.
forgot all
Yeah.
about that.
The Y2K
Maybe
scare.
that's what happened to this movie.
I think the Spice Girls were still popular back when this movie came out. Backstreet Boys definitely were.
The Spice Girls were on their way out.
Okay, I love that you know that. By the way.
No, because Spice Girls was a very freshman year of college thing.
Oh, okay, that
and
makes
I
sense.
graduated in 2001. So
makes sense.
yeah, by that point they were,
In case we didn't know exactly how old you are,
Yes.
old man Jason.
So what I want to know is, how did you, Mr. B, get wrapped up in?
They don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Yes, don't
the-
say my
yeah,
first name.
It says
Well,
on your-
that's why he's wearing the aviators.
literally.
Oh no, my identity has been revealed.
Oh no!
My name is not Adam B.
You did such a good job covering it up thus far.
You know that guy named Brown that you killed a few years back and assumed his life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, it is an interesting story, and it may date me a little bit, but I was living in New York City, and every Thursday.
You can just say New York.
Oh, that's right. Living
beat
in
me
the
to
city.
it.
Just for you,
Say the
Jason.
city. I was living in New York, and every Thursday Backstage came out. It was still a paper periodical, and you had to get it off the newsstand. You couldn't wait for it to be delivered at your home because it would come 2 days late, and you missed all the opportunities.
What a great business model.
Yes. Which, you're right, it was kind of silly. And I saw this ad for Strike Zone, and they were looking for submariners.
Oh,
I had literally just left my own boat, and I was a submarine officer at the time, and I thought, if I can't book this, I may as well just leave New York City immediately.
you could hedge your bets on this
And,
one.
and so it just said, bring your own monologue. So I literally wrote my own monologue based on, fire control and an attack sequence that a submarine would go through, going to periscope depth and taking out a surface ship. And I went in, I auditioned, and I impressed them enough that they cast me. They cast me
Wow.
in exactly the same role that I was playing on a nuclear submarine merely a few years before that. And it's funny, I did help to rewrite some of the script parts.
Yeah, well, I was going to say
I would
because
imagine.
in
yeah.
that scene, the scenes
bathtub
on the
scene.
submarine are so dramatically more accurate
Yes.
than everything else in the movie.
And I'm just gonna go and put this out there because this movie is a trash-tastic train wreck. I enjoyed every second of it. It was fantastic. But I will say this unabashedly: yours was the best performance in the entire movie.
Yes,
The
seriously.
most realistic, absolutely not blowing any kind of smoke.
And the second best
Absolutely.
performance was actually the guy who played the captain.
Yeah.
I thought that was the best part of the whole movie, and it was almost like whenever he was telling them that he was going to throw them off the boat, it was like, this is the Navy. We have good actors here. Get off my boat.
You guys aren't quality enough to ride
We
my
don't
rig.
tolerate hacks.
You're
on the
not Alec
submarine.
Baldwin or Sean Connery. Get off my boat.
And you don't have $100,000 wig to wear like in the
Can I
Hunt for Red October.
Okay, can I just point something out?
Please do.
Okay, the beginning of the movie, the first thing that made me go, oh, it's one of these, was in the 45 minutes of stock footage in the beginning of the movie.
There is quite a bit.
Yeah, they show I think was it a Ticonderoga or a Burke, or it was a cruiser,
Right.
I think, but they
Might have
call
been Arleigh Burke.
Yeah, the USS Florida, and I thought, how hard was it for you to figure out that they wouldn't name one of those after a state? I mean, just do a little, just put some effort. You're making a movie.
Yeah.
Right.
I know. Well, wait, no, 2000. Wikipedia did exist.
Yeah. People could fact check this.
Go
for
on
sure.
Wikipedia. Just type in USS Florida.
Absolutely.
You know, there is one. It's a submarine.
Yeah.
It exists.
Ballistic missile submarine,
Yes.
actually.
Yeah. Anyway, but we do move from the stock footage to the obligatory abandoned warehouse scene.
Oh,
which
absolutely.
every action movie
Well-
from 1980 to 2010.
Diplomatic immunity. Diplomatic immunity.
Well, they had to have it, but we've skipped past like 99.9% of the plot, which all gets thrown at you in the first 5 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
Like how all the terrorist factions are starting to take advantage of, now that the Gulf War is over and the Soviet Union has fallen, it's left this gap for, black market materials such as...
Which was a very hot topic in 1992.
Wait, you're saying this movie wasn't topical?
Well,
what the hell, Jason?
I think one thing that I think you have to remember with this movie is that it came out right before 9/11.
Yes.
And so it's basically the entire patina of the movie was totally just made obsolete a year later.
Oh, and sorry to interrupt you right now, but we're at an arms deal.
Yes.
At this abandoned warehouse, and
who
doesn't show up in a tube top to a weapon swap?
I would.
I ask you.
I would.
That's what I wear to all of
bimbo?
mine.
Yeah.
My bimbo.
But she's brilliant though, because the little drop of sweat falls on her shoulder.
You blew the damn
Sorry.
drop.
Damn sweaty seals.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Damn dirty apes.
Oh my God, I sweated.
I know, look at him. He's like,
he's just dripping
I can see
sweat,
the director.
literally.
Wipe your forehead.
Yeah.
Wait, pour more water on his head.
You would think a real Navy SEAL, like the guy next to me, would be like, dude, what's wrong with you?
Be a little calmer under pressure.
Come on,
Weren't they
man.
trained for something like
Yeah,
this?
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. But you have this fantastic weapon swap because the whole gist of it is, and what was the bad guy's name? Goddard?
Yes.
Yeah,
Played by
David Bowie.
Billy Drago.
Billy Drago.
But he looks like David Bowie.
We should
If
get
David
this.
Bowie
We
did
should
meth.
we should get the cast out of the way
Yes.
pretty quickly. We were
Sure.
yeah,
I've
because
got all that right here, actually, just for you.
the bad guy is played by Billy Drago, who was actually Frank Nitti in The Untouchables.
That's right.
He was the guy that Wyatt Earp threw off. Well, no, not Wyatt Earp.
Not Wyatt Earp,
Dances
no.
with Wolves threw him off.
A little close.
Yes, that one. Yes.
How about Elliot Ness?
Yes.
No, was it
Oh,
Ness?
yeah.
Ness.
Elliot
The
Ness
Untouchables.
threw the bad guy in this movie off of the roof in The Untouchables, which was he killed Sean Connery. There's not many actors who can say, "Well, I killed Sean Connery."
That's true.
Clancy Brown,
His claim to fame. Clancy Brown. Yep.
Clancy Brown,
Yeah.
and
Kurgan.
Billy Drago. Yeah.
Yep.
It also stars Michael. No. Hang on. What's his name? I don't even know what his actual name is.
Rick Burns?
No, the Vice Admiral.
The Admiral. Richard Lynch.
Oh, yes. Richard
Lynch, who is famous, literally famous, for one movie that he was in. He was a B-movie actor. He died a few years ago.
I was about to say, a couple of people have passed from this movie.
Yeah, huge.
I haven't yet, though.
Yeah.
I'm still around. I'm still
We're
kicking.
so glad. We're so glad.
The people who, said, yes, this is my career, they eventually drank themselves to death.
Oh.
No, but he was actually the star of a movie
Call
that
back
is
to Die
near
Hard.
and dear to my heart because I'm a huge MST3K fan. I'm a Misty. And he was the man with the yellow hat in the Eastern European movie Werewolf.
You mentioned this before we started.
I think his real the character's name was Noel, but he was the scientist who discovers the werewolf skeleton and hatches the scheme to. Yeah.
right before Kolchak kills him. Yeah, we know.
But yeah, so seeing this, it's like, oh, it's that guy. That's great.
Well, they needed some names
Yeah.
to make sure that the movie entered the mainstream.
I'm really
Sure.
surprised
And the
Cameron
only-
Mitchell's not in it.
Yeah.
Except I think he was dead. But
I get the feeling that if Christian Slater had been involved to some effect,
it's just Slater.
it's just Slater. It's a mononym.
Mononym.
Oh lordy, but yeah, I feel like this is a movie that Christian Slater would have made, and it would have actually
Really?
made it to a bigger box office audience. Yes,
Well, the only
It's
box
the
it
type
made
of
to
movie he
was-
would make.
Yeah, the recycling box.
oh,
The mainstream would have been the Hudson River.
But it's funny because when you watch a movie like this, there's always
Datum jokes. Oh.
there's always sort of a kind of an analysis when you watch a bad movie where you say, okay, did they make the movie because they had some money and they wanted to make a movie and who gives a crap? Let's make a movie.
Yeah,
Teenage Strangler, great example. A little town, I think it was in the Midwest.
I'll say this must have been one of
Yeah,
your
it's an old
rabbit
movie.
hole
Yeah, it's an
movies
old
that
movie.
I've never heard of.
And it was like a theater, the community theater, and they just said, let's make a movie. And they did, and it was terrible. But you can
Well,
kind of
yeah.
forgive it because they just wanted to make a movie.
Yeah, it's not like they had Michael Bay money. They just
Right. Or is it Ed Wood, where I am a great filmmaker and I am making a great film and it's garbage?
Well, what's funny about that is the one review I was able to find about this movie.
Dare we ask?
I'm not even being. No, it was not a
You
positive
found a review of this movie?
I sure did. I'm telling you, Hindsighters, the research I do. Just
Is it
for
in
you
German?
guys. No, it's not. It's actually in very badly written English.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, apparently the big issue of this particular reviewer was the fact that, how do you pronounce the Ingvarsson, the director?
Yeah, Ingridson.
He was really upset because he
Didn't
apparently is a big
Horseman-
fan of Zagarino, Rick Burns, the main Navy
Frank.
SEAL in the movie, Frank, but he hates the director.
Not Dunk. The
I
worst,
can't believe
the
that.
worst name.
Dunk.
Dunk.
Can I change the character's name, please? No.
Also known as Tarzan in New York.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rambo.
Joe Lara.
Conan.
Joe Lara.
Dunk.
And you were telling me they were actually nice guys.
Oh my
That's-
God, they were fantastic. They
That's
were
cool.
because particularly when they found out that we're on a submarine and I was an actual submarine officer and I was helping them rewrite the script, on the fly. And they were like, "Whoa!" And they were asking all these questions and what does this do? And I was explaining what all the various components. It was the USS Ling.
Yes,
Oh, is that
you were telling me about
Well, yeah,
that.
I was going to ask, where did you film it?
It was shot in New Jersey. So
Okay.
they piled us into a van, a white van with no windows.
Is it a Gato
down by the
or
river.
Baleo?
No, it's a World War II diesel boat.
Yeah, so.
And it was part of a museum there. But the funny thing is we shot the American scenes in the control room, and the Iraqi scenes were literally up a ladder in the conning tower.
Hey, that's how you make a movie,
That's
damn
right.
it.
That's
The
how
way that-
movies are made.
And the way
and-
that they displayed that there were two submarines approaching one another is you never see both of them in the same shot. It's literally
Well,
just
no.
the same submarine.
Well, the
Like a
bathtub
bath
wasn't big
toy.
enough to have both submarines in it at the same time.
And they film it, going one direction, and then they film it going another direction. You're like, they couldn't afford another toy submarine.
They blew their budget on the underwater camera.
Yeah.
On all
They
the
cost
stock
a
footage.
fortune back then. Yes.
Well,
goodness.
the I guess because the model looks like an Ohio class,
It's an Ohio class,
Yeah.
and I think like a
like a Kula
alpha
or an
I
alpha.
think it's an alpha.
Yeah,
I think it's an alpha submarine.
and the
Which an Iraqi would never, ever.
No.
I mean, that's the hottest,
Yeah.
the hot Soviet submarine at the time.
the Ohio class model looks pretty good. As a scale model guy, I'm looking at it going, yeah, it looks that's a good model. I'd be happy with that. I'd put that in my shelf.
Mm-hmm.
The Iraqi Soviet one doesn't, and every time you see it, it looks like somebody just tossed it in the bathtub. And it's just sort of like scooping up, like it's trying to make it to the surface.
Like the
Right.
tablet you put in it, is adding
Yeah,
too
yeah.
much air. It's taking it up to the surface.
well, you squeeze the Coke bottle and it goes down.
yes.
Fun. But for those hindsighters who may not be familiar with this cinematic classic, do you guys know what the basic synopsis is of this movie?
Please.
I'm gonna try.
Please.
Wait, I'm gonna try.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Do it.
Okay,
Synopsis challenge. Go.
bad guy steals weapon, hides weapon in ancient city that can't be bombed because
Because it's an archaeological treasure.
yeah,
It's an ancient
So Navy SEALs who had been fired
shit canned, I
shit
think was the
can. That
actual
was it, yeah.
term. Yeah.
Unshit can them.
But they were sharing the same love interest. Don't forget that.
Ooh, can't forget that firecracker of a.
Dunk's stank was still on her when Frank took over. Oh, my really?
Oh, God, Mr. Brown.
Dunk was here.
I'm not going to look at you for the rest of the episode.
Is that it? What does that tattoo say? Dunk? What does that mean?
The Dunk Zone?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how
Are
do
you a
even-
Scottie Pippen fan?
How do you modify that one? Because that's what Johnny Depp did when he broke up with Winona Ryder. It used to say Winona Forever on his arm, but he
Yeah.
had it changed to Wino Forever
Okay.
after they split up.
Yeah.
But how do you fix dunk? Like what? I'm trying to think of a modification for that one.
Slam dunk.
Done?
Yeah.
My career is done.
I'm done with
there
him.
are there are a lot of good pictures on the internet of people who've gotten like pictures of their girlfriends and then they break up and then they make it look like like the Grim Reaper and shit.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Like how Bojack's
So-
mother sees Henrietta.
We digress.
We do.
Back
we
to
do.
you, Jay.
No,
It's
the
okay because we're literally in a 45-minute stock footage.
Stock footage.
Stealth bombers even.
Yes, they got everything in this. They even Yeah, they've got Harriers, they've got Hornets, they've got Eagles, they've got Vipers, they've got, the military's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to join the service.
Jason, I have to commend you because you gave a better detailed
Cluster
synopsis.
bombs.
But those are all test tanks, by the way. That's not real enemy.
There's actually footage of
So
the Thunderbirds.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no.
There's actually footage where you see a Viper and it's the Thunderbirds.
Well, at least it wasn't Thunderbirds are go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that would have cost too much.
yeah. Copyright on that is way out.
Oh my God! By the way, when we do my movie that I was involved in,
Zombies.
Yeah, this movie is
found
Ibsen
it.
compared to that.
Oh, okay. Well, I look forward to it.
And I watched a little bit, and Strike Zone is so much better.
Strike Zone is freaking Shakespeare by
Did it take you
comparison.
20 years to watch the movie?
It
though?
took.
Oh.
You know what? It took 15 years. 15 years to actually
15
sit
years.
and watch the movie.
Oh my God.
And I.
So right after
Are you proud of yourself?
right after
No.
really quickly before you go down that road, as an actor, you always want to get some footage from the film that you can use in your reel.
Yeah.
So of course I thought they probably finished shooting by now. I tried all the phone numbers; they were disconnected. Naturally,
They weren't.
I
Are you
couldn't
serious?
reach anybody. Yeah,
That's magnificent.
and so
they were all homeless by
It's
the
a
end
Chinese
of this.
restaurant.
They're hanging out with
What you want?
David
You want
Kiernan.
Strike Zone?
No, so I ended up going online, and that's when I found the film. It was Thailand, I believe, is where they ended up marking. It was very popular there. So I got a copy, and I
where they
just
sell all the
literally
bootlegs.
just put it on my shelf until I brought it to you, and you masterfully knitted it together because it was back before it was DVD. What was the format?
It was actually in video CD.
Video CD.
Video disc.
On multiple
Yeah, it was
video
a
CDs.
2-disc set.
Which was in 640 by 480 resolution.
God.
So for those of you who know, it's not the highest resolution. Your phone shoots, thousands of times better. But back then, that was something else. You know?
Pre-DVD, but
We got to the love story part of the movie.
No. I want to talk about the scene.
But hang on,
no,
hang
no.
on,
The
hang on
whole
really fast because your synopsis was so much better than the one that I found online. U.S. Marines try to stop the transfer
Wait.
of...
Wait.
Oh, yes! Not even Navy SEALs. Hold on, I'll start over.
hat
U.S.
for
Marines try to stop the transfer of missile technology to a Middle Eastern country.
that's it.
That's it. It's awful.
wow.
It's terrible.
U.S. Marines, not even Marines,
Not even Marines.
close.
I
They didn't
don't-
even bother to look at the film.
No, I don't think there's a single
I
Marine in the
get
whole
it.
movie.
Well, I did find another review. Do you want to take a look at that one, Adam? That one's a bit
I
more
just
detailed.
want to point
Yeah,
out
please.
that there is about a 25-minute long sequence establishing the romantic relationship between
the past romantic relationship.
Yeah, one of the dudes and that lady.
Rick Burns, and her name is Rebecca. She's the main love interest
whatever.
/ captive.
It's literally a montage of them doing romantic-y things. But each montage segment is like 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's accompanied
Uncomfortably long.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's accompanied by a voiceover, which makes it look like they're telepathically communicating to each other. The whole they're psychics
Yeah.
who just don't use their
And then they
mouths.
suddenly have 4 dogs.
yeah,
Appear from nowhere.
yeah. Well, because the director's house where they filmed it at,
His wife or one of his
Yeah.
kids opened the door.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
the dogs ran into the shop.
Ingvartsen.
and film stock is expensive,
Yep.
so people
That's what he
don't
blew the budget
people
on.
don't realize what it used to be like to make a crappy movie. You had to spend thousands of dollars to buy film stock, and by God, when you started rolling the camera, you rolled it.
Yeah, you just sort of
Yeah.
dealt with what came with it.
If if the kid opened the door and a bunch of dogs came out, yeah, that was in the movie.
Somehow.
Yeah. You want to do a take for safety? Well, it's safety. It's fine. Move on.
But what I really love is with the flashback, you get the entire story between Rick and
The
Rebecca.
whole story.
The whole nine. Because it starts basically with an ultimatum. Well, Rick, if you don't get serious about me, then we're done. And, men respond so well to stuff like that.
I know, especially Navy SEALs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Quit being a Navy SEAL. I want you to quit. And then you don't really figure out what he's talking about with her yet because he says, all right, I'll work on it, but no more expeditions for you. And you're like, what?
Yeah,
What does she
I
do
know you
for a
go
living?
all over the world and scuba dive and shoot people and have sex with hot women, but I want you to leave all that for me.
So we can have children and settle down.
Yes.
Yeah, how enticing, Rebecca. Well done.
Come on, we're going shopping for a minivan.
Does it have sliding panel doors?
Yeah, goddamn well better.
You better. You don't want the kids knocking the doors against other cars, Rebecca. God.
Meanwhile, at the Pentagon,
Yes. Not the good
annex
Pentagon.
office at the strip mall.
Not the good Pentagon, Morty. Our Pentagon.
Yes.
And there's the analyst with the ponytail. I
Yes.
don't quite get that,
Yes.
but
He looks like a bad guy from Mortal Kombat.
and the admiral, the 2-star admiral from Werewolf,
Yes.
who runs the whole Navy, because
Yeah.
he just says everything. You know, it's
Yeah.
like your carrier strike group.
There's not really a chain of command.
Yeah.
He just sort of does things. But I do want to reel it back to, because hang on, because
Okay,
they
yeah.
have this task force. The reason why Rick and Rebecca break up is because he doesn't realize he has this fantastic opportunity to lead an elite Navy SEAL team, and
Yeah.
you know,
Remember
put his
when
own team together.
Cosmo? That was all the headlines. You know, Rick and Rebecca break up. So terrible.
But
Who
so
cares about Brad and Angelina?
Brangelina, get it right.
Yeah.
But they, Rick gets this mission to put together an elite team of Navy SEAls, which is very exciting and too exciting for him to turn down. So he breaks up with Rebecca in a letter.
Yeah.
Like
By the
you
way,
do.
an elite team of Navy SEAls.
That's
They're
so
kind
redundant.
of all, you know, like there's not like the shit Navy SEAls that are just
Right.
like, you know, shooting at their feet, you know, and like, you know, yeah.
The deaf, dumb, and blind Navy
We're
SEAls.
going to talk about the team later.
We will, but
We will talk about that.
But the team botches its first mission because of the sweaty Navy SEAL who blows the drop on the arms deal. It's the last piece that
They don't train him for that.
that Goddard
Nobody
is,
trains you.
but wasn't that same guy that had the sweaty head? He fell for the boots behind.
Yes, that's
in
what
the
I was going to bring
restroom.
up. God.
Yes.
I'm
the old
actually.
boots.
I see.
Dex.
I think they spent most of their budget digitally deleting the like hayseed in his mouth that he must have been walking around with the whole time. Y'all come out from behind there.
So Darth, will you describe it? You are so good at describing this to our listeners.
Yes, because most of them they're not going to be able to watch along, so I figure we need to be a little more descriptive
You know
with
what?
this episode.
I'm going to go ahead and cut some scenes into this. And
Go ahead.
We're going to risk
okay.
the big YouTube.
We can always
Live
take
on
it
the
out.
edge, will
Yeah,
you?
we're-
That's
we're-
what I used to say when I was. active
I
duty.
think we're going to put some. Because most of the movie they don't own the rights to anyway, so
Nope.
You're
They're all
right.
homeless now anyhow, so it doesn't matter.
that's true.
But
He's still making movies. The director is still. He's still.
I don't doubt
Yeah,
that.
he's a working director. He
he
still
was
makes
one of the
movies.
characters in this movie.
I think he is.
was.
Yeah, he's got a bit part in most of his movies.
He was Dex, the guy who gets killed.
Yes.
But yeah, Dex falls for this very clever trick, and that he dies on their mission after they botch it, because they're there for the CPU of the nuclear weapons system. I know I can't really even get through.
CPU.
They
yeah.
said it's the last part
Do 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 do.
because Goddard has been selling this nuclear system that will be able to help the Iraqis bomb us within 600 miles. And
Well, and that's the thing. They keep saying that you know they'll be able to put a missile within 600 miles, and
Yep.
I keep thinking Iraq is a lot farther than 600 miles away. Why do we care?
hey, they've got that submarine.
You know?
Maybe they'll launch it from there. Who knows? The logic in this movie is that dicey. But so Dex dies because he's chasing Goddard. They don't get the
course he
CPU,
is.
gentlemen, do they? And Dex dies because Goddard takes off his boots and puts them like behind a bathroom stall or
Yeah,
something.
I believe that's what it
and
was.
distracts him and then jumps out from another part of the room and shoots him to death. So-
That's the sort of thing. Whenever a person who writes his own movies is sitting up at night and he just needs to get to the next scene,
Yep.
and he just comes up, that's fine.
and he
That'll
never
do.
revisited it.
That's
He was like,
great.
hey, it
Yeah.
moves the story along.
But they all died the same way. It's like their eyes are open and they're just
Oh,
laying there.
Except for the guy that I can't wait to get to, the guy in the Kevlar vest.
Oh my god, no! I don't.
bad.
That's the most ridiculous thing in the whole movie.
Oh yes,
But-
yeah, that was well done.
So Rick has been shit canned, I think the term was.
Shit-canned, yes.
His team is no longer active because they botched their mission to get the CPU. And then we cut to Rebecca, who's now inexplicably blonde, even though she was brunette 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, and she's in the part of Iraq that looks a lot like
South Dakota.
South Dakota. No, South Carolina.
Oh yeah, I could.
Yeah,
and because like I said, you don't really get a lot of answers about her, really, even until Dunk starts fighting